what's up, jazz guitar friends? Larry Tamanini here with Jazz Guitar Under 5 Minutes. And you just heard me playing through one of my favorite songs, It Could Happen to You, written by Jimmy Van Heusen. Also had a great career making shirts, apparently. Who knew, right? So, this is a song that I heard a lot get called around Philadelphia. It got called at Ortlieb's and Chris's and plenty of other jam sessions that I would go to and gigs that I would get called for. A lot of people play this song in different keys. A song that I had a little bit of a hard time at first and been getting a lot of requests from students on wanting to learn this song. It's been popping up a lot lately. So I played, approach this song like I would approach any 32 bar standard, right? But every song is a little bit different. And as you start to learn tunes, you start to understand that, like, maybe you start out and you're thinking in 2 bars, and then you start being able to think in 4 bars, and then you can finally think in 8 bars. That's what you want to shoot for. You think in 8 bars, so you're not thinking of a tune as like all 32 bars or a bunch of little snippets. You're hearing it in 4 pieces. You're hearing the song as it's written. Verse, standard, a verse, chorus, bridge, whatever, and in a lot of cases, it's just A, B, A. And it's definitely an art form to learn how those songs move along. So check it out. I played 2 different sets of changes here that we're going to talk about right as we start to learn a new song, right? You're going to be like, oh, I got 2 sets of changes. Well, it's going to make a lot more sense. So check it out. Let's play this song. Now, without getting the melody involved, I'm starting on this E flat, right? So a lot of people want to play this. It's kind of what Miles Davis does, where he goes up to E diminished, right? And then to the 2. This song is deceptively simple in the sense that in the first 8 bars, you're just going up a scale. You pretty much chromatically, right? I have this to my 2, and then this F sharp taking me to my 3. Some people will put a 1 chord here, but we'll talk about that. And let's talk about those 8 bars, right? Because what ends up happening is I end up on this F minor. So like a lot of these tunes, it's a real sneaky way to get you just to a 2 chord or a 3 chord or a 4 chord. That's how so many of these standards work. And once you learn how it works, the songs become a lot easier. So check it out. So I have this 1 going up chromatically to my 2, going up chromatically to my 3, right? There's my 3, and then we have a 4. What I have here is a 2-5 going to my 2. With a melody as a 9th in the bass, right? On top. So let's talk about what this song has become, right? So now people will approach this as playing 1. And they'll just make this a 2-5 of the 2. G minor, C to F minor. And then 2-5. A lot of people want to go up to this E flat. You can do that. But I prefer to go from here to G minor. And again, these 2 chords, right? A lot of people like to play E flat major to A flat major. Some people will play E flat major to an A flat dominant 7 sound. Put a D flat there too, going before you get to this 2. So this is a cool problem to have in that you can do a bunch of different things. I never understood why for this first part people just don't go 1 4 3 6. But where would you go after this part, right? I've always kind of messed around with this. Maybe not, right? But let's get back to the tune. So there are our first 8 bars, and you have 2 different ways to talk about it. You can just go take the chromatic way to the 3, right? Then you have your 4, and now I know I have my 2-5 coming up to 2. Now, a lot of people might say that this is just staying in E flat the whole time. And I would agree with that for a majority of that statement. But I think for a little bit, we kind of end up going to a 2. A word that I've seen in books that I don't like to admit that I use is tonicize. So it looks like the 2 is your reference point for just a little bit. Because I'm going from this F minor and then back up to my E flat. What happens here is I'm going to my 6. Now, anytime I know I'm going to my 6 chord, I know that this 5 of 5 is going to come in, right? Right? And then I do this every time. Chromatic 2-5 definitely always makes me think of Ortlieb's. Very Philly thing to do. Let's talk about that part of the song, right? Because we covered half of it, but in a lot of ways we covered more than half, because just like all these tunes, we know that if we play an A section, chances are we're going to repeat that, right? What I ended up doing when I played it was I played the 2 sets of changes. The first time I think I might have went up chromatically, right? Which I'm doing right now. And I played an A flat 7 there because I wanted to, and it was cool. There's that little D flat to E flat, and then I know I'm going to my 6. Sometimes I'll just do this little walk down. So this time, when I'm repeating that, I'm going to play the 2-5 of that 2. Right? Breaks it up just a little bit, and maybe I will play E flat. Happy, with those major chords. I'll cut it here with a D flat to the C, and now I'm going to rerun this part, right? But instead of going to my 6, I have a 1-4-3-6, right? And here are my last 4 bars. Whatever turnaround you want to do, right? It's good to have a couple. Here's 3, right? That's my second one. And I did maybe this one. So check it out. That's a lot of information to process. You look at some of these videos, and over the years when I've had people explain songs to me in very simple form, it can be really confusing. And as you play these songs and you get used to playing music, it's almost like every song has a little file in your head. And the more you play it, the smaller that file becomes. The smaller the information that you need to suss from it can get sort of assimilated into your playing. If you're having a hard time, you don't have to learn the whole song at once. There's nothing wrong with really going in on 8 bars, right? Like I said, this is a song that gets played in a bunch of different keys. So if somebody turns around and wants to play this in the key of G, and you kind of go through your mental Dewey Decimal System until you find it, that file comes up, and you know that you can do a little walk up here, right? I can go right up to this guy. I know that I'm going to walk right up to my 4 here. I know I have some options of some chord qualities of what I can end up doing, but I know that it's going to go to my 2 and then back up to here, and I know it's going to go to my 6. And then sounds great in every key, right? Turn around. Now I know here that I can go and approach each one of those other chords instead of by diminished chords. I can do 2 5s. Now, do I want to feel brave and do that? Until I get to those sharp chords, you might think twice about it, but it's good. Stay the course. Now I know here that I'm going to sort of almost do the same thing, but I have a 1-4-3-6. And then all I have to think about is just what kind of turnaround I want to do. If I want to do it in another key, I can just keep that same kind of thing going. Ooh, right? You gotta get those edits, right? But if you don't try it and mess up, on your in the gig simulator, you're going to be in trouble on the gig. So it's always good to get some mistakes in there because then you know you're really trying. So it could happen to you. Great song to move around in all keys. Great song to start thinking about different sets of changes and how you really approach harmonies without thinking too much about, like, Coltrane subs or, fancy superimpositions. Just play the tune, get the tune in your head, then you can do some other stuff. So, all right, jazz guitar friends, thanks for hanging out. If you like this video, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Do have plenty of room for some students. Teaching a lot, love teaching. Hit me up for lessons, and have a good day. Bebop.